when the Lions played South Africa A in Cape Town. It was a rather scrappy affair. Here off his first line out, the Lions are extremely predictable and Bundee Aki runs a straight line with no support, no other options. And then from a scrappy pass and a blitz South Africa defence, the Lions lose 15 metres and South Africa win the turnover. Minutes later, South Africa win a turnover ball and get in behind the Lions, and this is an example of how Faf de Klerk's kicking was so superior to how the Lions kicked the entire game. On turnover ball with no fullback, they put a deep kick in with runners to chase. Here South Africa are attacking in the Lions 22. You see we've got fast line speed from the Lions and all tackles are double tackles. So you get twice the opportunity of tackling the player, slowing the ball down, and a chance of making a dominant tackle. South Africa work their way slowly across the pitch here, and they draw a lot of the Lions forwards in. Now here they throw two wider passes to the forwards to hit up off quick ball, and those two have completely enveloped all the Lions forwards. So then quick play again leaves a 4-on-1 on the outside. On this instant, Nkosi's foot was in touch though. From this Lions attacking maul, South Africa defend this really intelligently. You see they'll push in towards the touchline, and they'll have defenders in positions ready for when the maul twists. You see here, it'll twist, Ken Owens will break off, and they've already got defenders in position ready. And as it breaks off here, Mossalat can compete for that ball. South Africa's first try here stems from their own poor line-out play. It feels like this didn't come together due to the lack of time they've had to train. Conor Murray goes quick, which is something we've seen throughout the Lions tour so far, although it never really got going properly in this game. You see Conor Murray just holding it at the ruck for a second, and here on this pass it takes a step and he's avoiding runners coming the other way. And because of this and the blitz South Africa defence, they get the charge down. And from here it's pure pace from Nkosi, who does get his try, though Louis Uzame got pretty close to him. Now this scrum is actually completed, but if you look at the body angle of Wyn Jones, he's driving very inwards and could be penalised for it. It's not ideal for him either with his weight and power distribution. If he was straight it would have been better. Now this kick, you can see it's finding class in between Daly and Louis Uzame. Another example of how South Africa kicked so much better. Now this phase of Lions attack before half time was extremely long and not particularly successful for them. They spent a lot of time picking and going and one pass off the base of the ruck. Now against a team like South Africa, which have some of the best forwards in the world and are world champions, especially this starting pack, they made this very difficult for themselves, the Lions, by not disrupting their defence at all. They simply allowed them to move from side to side and defend simply. The Lions didn't do anything that got them into this position. No fast play, no hard lines. It wasn't until they got the penalty advantage that they decided to go to the air. They managed to keep the ball here, and that sort of line from Navidi out to in could have done a bit more damage had he had a bit more support there. Coming back for the penalty now. The Lions tap and go, but never change anything about their structure of play. And even with South Africa giving away more penalties, they don't do anything that will influence the end result here. And they went to the TMO for this hit by Faf de Klerk. Now he may well not make contact with his shoulder to Wyn Jones's head, but that is only because Wyn Jones has protected himself from it by putting his arm in front of his own head. And he does clash heads immediately with Navidi. Whether the clashing heads with Navidi actually influences the decision on the card is probably pushing it, but it is a reckless tackle where he hasn't bent at the hips, he's upright, he's not tried to wrap with the arm, he's tucked it, and he hasn't paid any attention to where he's tackling because he's looking away. It's enough of a borderline decision between red and yellow to potentially give the benefit of the doubt on the decision. But still, the Lions didn't change how they attacked. They decided to pick and go and go no further than one pass. And now with South Africa 2 men down, you think they could suck in play here and spread it wide, but they didn't. Now from this phase of play here, the Lions get good line-up ball from the back, which allows them to attack that a bit wider. Though good South African line speed here doesn't mean they can get that wide or that much territory. That's a great spot tackle from Nkosi. He's identified that Fowler is the only potential receiver and is going to hit him. Now 2 out back door passes here to Chris Harris, who identifies that Etzebeth is a second row out wide, fixes him and puts Watson away. Now that move is all about going from one side of the pitch to the other quickly. Means that the players can't necessarily shift to the ideal position that they'd be stood in when you come back the other way. So you've got to identify them and exploit it. Now from this tap and go, you can tell Ken Owens is absolutely thrilled about it. And the Lions do eventually get their drive over try that they've worked a long time on getting. It doesn't feel like it's a tactic that is necessarily going to work well against South Africans. But they did get there in the end, having 3 drive over 2 defenders. Now I want to highlight this scrum and play here, because Jacob Piper lets it play even though this scrum collapses. Now here you'll see the South African has his elbow tucked in towards the ground and his hips shoot up first, so it should have been a penalty Lions at this point. But here the Lions play a little bit wider than they had been all game. There's a good spot hit from Colby. And Lions have their first penalty advantage. As we just saw previously, they've taken 2 phases to go all the way across the pitch. and there's the second penalty advantage. Now this play would have come back a bit quicker had the ball not been slowed down. You feel Aki would have given it out again where there were forwards defending. Now there's the third penalty, and Farrell takes 3 points. Now you can see from this short kicking exchange just how dominant the South Africans were. Murray kicks from within his own 22, kicks to Willie Roux deep, no chase, no pressure on him, doesn't kick it out when he could have from his own 22. Now I know Lions make 10-15 metres from that short exchange, but it's sloppy ball now, and Farrell's forced into another kick, which does go to Mornay Steyn here, with time to think about what he's going to do. You can see the speed the South Africans get back to help out, and that support ultimately traps Tom Curry in there and gives them the penalty. Now we can see what the Lions can do with an attacking kick. Here Daly puts one in deep behind Colby as soon as he comes up to defend the overlap. They've got the chase in Lewis Zammit and Daly, and they win that battle, nearly getting Colby over his own line. Now the pressure on defending your own line when you've got the ball is you desperately don't want to lose it, so here you see the South Africans seal off the ball, and the Lions will revert to type and decide to mix things up slowly with one up play from either Aki or Chris Harris, but it's not exactly groundbreaking attacking rugby here until they decide to go wide. You feel like they could have done that plenty of times before. Now, this from Lewis Zammit is definitely short initially, but that is at the point the tackle is completed, when his arm is outstretched, so he's allowed to place it one more time. And from this angle, it definitely looks like he gets to the line there. So for me, this is a try, even though Jacob Piper decided against it. This clip shows the lack of inventiveness from the Lions' attack. It's one-up attack, Bundee Aki first, then Chris Harris. It's nothing special that South Africa can't defend against, and with fast flowing defence they get there quite easily. This, on the other hand, is how South Africa decided to attack. It was a good maul defence initially from the Lions, which is impressive, but all carries here from South Africa are away from the base. They don't make a great deal of ground, and the passes generally don't come to the man standing closest to the ruck, which they do seem to do with the Lions. It just means that there's more options for the man carrying if it's spread away to the middle man. And as soon as South Africa decide there's nothing on, they put an attacking kick in, put the pressure on the Lions, force them into a tricky situation. Now again, this is a fantastic maul defence here from the Lions. You can see Adam Beard and Itoje both managed to wrap themselves around the ball carrier here without changing bind, which brings a turnover. This is the final scrum of the game with the clock gone red. South African put in, so the Lions really need to win this. And from this you can see straight body angles from all of the Lions. as they put the pressure on, and it's the South Africans who fold on that. This should have been a penalty here to the Lions. But instead Jaco Peyper decides to reset it. You can see both props twist their body angles from South Africa, and the ones that take it to ground. And again, the Lions pile through here, but this time South Africans keep it up, and it's a scrappy finish to the end of the game. Overall, I thought the Lions forwards had a good game. A strong set piece, positive defence. They've done more work in attacking rucks, because South Africans turned over the ball a lot. And then in attack, there were glimpses of positivity when the Lions came back across the pitch, passing the ball out wide as the defence wasn't set, and they managed to find the players out of position. But overall, they never really managed to break down the South African defence properly. They couldn't go multiple phases without making a mistake of some kind, or losing the ball, just setting themselves back a few phases. I feel they could have matched their tempo from previous matches, where they did play quick ball to break down their opposition, but everything was just a few seconds slower against South Africa A. And now when they play South Africa, I really hope they go for full speed like they did in the warm-up matches. I think they might have a better chance of breaking down the South Africa pack with that tactic.